So this question totally hurts my brain. Um, it's super open-ended and like way subjective. But I just feel like that's kind of what goes with the territory. It's like asking what is art. No one thought art was a toilet seat until some guy put his name on it and said it was. As defined by Google, music is vocal or instrumental sounds, or both, combined in such a way as to produce beautiful form, harmony, and expression of emotion. And to some extent, I think that's true. It's pretty straightforward and it kind of sums it up, but I also think it's kind of a shallow way of looking at it. And I don't really like making huge umbrella statements about things, especially when they're things I don't completely understand, but I'm gonna go on a limb here and say that music is really, in its most essential form, both a product and an expression of the human condition. I mean, it's hard to say what it is because that kind of depends on where you're coming from and what you think it is. So I think it's easier kind of to look at it as, what function does it serve and what does it come out of instead of what is it. I think music is definitely a child of like quintessentially human creative impulse. It's just like art. I also think that music is something that sets us as like a species or whatever apart. It's just like language. I mean, I know it's a language, but it's also like language or like math or civilization. It's an exclusively human endeavor. It's like part of our need to organize things and understand them and structure them and also like get some sort of mastery over them and to like create patterns, because that's a pretty human quality. It's part of our need to like figure out the way things work and like the rules that govern them so that we can like manipulate and utilize them. I play cello. I've been playing since I was pretty little. And as a kid, I just hated it because there were all these rules and, I had to have good posture and hold my bow right, and I didn't want to know anything about music theory, and I hated key signatures and I hated time signatures, but, once you learn those rules, it allows you to break them, and I think that's also just as big a piece of what music is as, the rules themselves. Music is like a balancing act between, structure and organization and, like, being able to dismantle that. And, like, in addition to being part of our need to organize things, I think it's also, like an organizing mechanism within society. It clumps people together, like, it helps them create their social and cultural identities, especially by today's standards where, many people are somewhat defined by their musical preferences. But even, like, as it's being created by these subcultures, it's also, creating them. It's also, like, part of our need to record the past, and I think it helps us know where we come from, and it can be used to, like, archive things, like, think Greek lyric stuff. I think it's also very mathy, and it can be, explained in terms of math, and also I think it could probably be defined by scientific terms, although I wouldn't attempt to do so. But that's what's so good about it. It's not necessarily easy to understand or define, but it's like a universal language, and it can be understood by anybody. It's all about rules and scales and time signatures and all that good stuff, but it's also about the expression of like personal experience and emotion and storytelling and exploration and rebellion and making cool shit. I mean, music is melody, it's harmony, it's rhythm, it's sound, it's silence. It's history, it's culture, it's human. Music is just pretty noise. I don't really think that you can define music. It's just one of those things. You know, I think the most you can hope for is to understand it by experiencing it and putting it in some sort of context. But when all is said and done, I think music is just what you make of it. And, you know, honestly, that's enough for me.